Hello there, it's another Wednesday. Welcome to AM Business, which is proudly brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. Now, today we focus on Ghana's bilateral ties with Germany. Charles Aite had an interaction with the ambassador as they discussed bilateral trade between both countries, COVID-19 and immigration.
Ambassador, welcome to the program. So we do know that it's been 60 years of bilateral ties between Ghana and Germany. Help us understand the highlights of these moments.
Yeah, thank you very much, first of all, for having me on this program here. It's exactly now 64 years since we have diplomatic relations with Ghana. Ghana has made tremendous progress over the last 30 years, especially. Ghana has become a stable democracy, has been becoming an anchor for stability in West Africa. And we are proud of a very substantial and close partnership and friendship between our two countries. Just to give you some examples, we had the German President, Frank-Walter Steinmeier, here on a state visit in Ghana in December 2017. The German Chancellor, Angela Merkel, was here in August 2018. President Akufo-Addo has already been 4 times in Germany since taking office 2017 in his first term. We have also broadened and deepened our economic relations, very important point for both countries. Volkswagen, the start of car assembling in Ghana mid last year, is a very good example for this.
How is that faring?
It's doing very well. It's in the first phase, so they're producing, assembling cars here. I think the number they want to achieve here per year is about 5,000 to 6,000 vehicles assembled per year. But this is only supposed to be the first step, and it will go in a second and third step here. We have seen a lot of German global players, global companies coming to Ghana, opening their regional offices for West Africa. So this is very promising. We had the German-Africa Business Summit, the signature event of the German-Africa business community here in Accra in 2019 for the very first time in West Africa. Big step forward here. And of course, the third pillar of our cooperation is economic and development cooperation. We have a substantial portfolio in our development cooperation. It's about 130 million euros per year. That has been increased significantly over the last 4 years. So I would say relations are closer and better than they have ever been before.
That's great. But even as we talk about relations, we're having this discussion in an unusual time. COVID-19 has struck economies world over. In your stride as an ambassador to Ghana, what has been the contributions that Germany has made in curbing the spread of COVID in Ghana?
Yeah, COVID, of course, is a huge challenge for all countries in the world. We are literally all in this together. So the priority for all of us, also in our cooperation, is, of course, to help Ghana to cope with the pandemic and also to bring Ghana out of the economic and social challenges and perturbances with regard to COVID. We were able to put together a quite substantial COVID relief package for Ghana in spring last year, already in April and May, with a volume of about 25 million euros. We financed a COVID emergency unit at a regional hospital in Takoradi, for instance. We supported the Noguchi Institute. We sent PPEs to many ministries and organizations here. And we entered into a cooperation with Stanbic Bank here to give a credit line to small and medium-sized Ghanaian enterprises to secure the cash flow and safeguard 12,000 jobs in this country.
So with the partnership with Stanbic Bank, how did that go?
That did go very well. We concluded the agreement, I think in May or June last year already. This is a good example of these very effective public-private partnerships here. Very promising avenue to follow. And of course, now we are entering a new important phase in our fight against COVID. Just yesterday, we got the news that the global alliance, Gavi, the vaccination alliance, Gavi, and COVAX under the UN auspices is delivering the first 340 million doses of COVID vaccines to developing countries. And if I'm correctly informed, we will see the first 2.4 million COVID doses going also to Ghana in the next couple of weeks and months. And we would be happy to support Ghana, for instance, with the logistics and this. Germany is one of the most important supporters of this Gavi vaccination alliance. We contributed more than 600 million euros to that. The European Union as a whole is also a very important supporter. So this is very important and good progress, I think.
But still on COVID-19, in 2020, you said that Ghana's approach in curbing the virus is commendable. Do you still stand by this approach when we're having cases spiking?
I would say it's a challenge in every country right now. Most countries in the world are now dealing with the second or third wave of COVID. It's the same in my country, in Germany. The pandemic has proven to be less predictable than we thought. A lot of countries thought in the summer that the worst could have been over. We had to learn otherwise, and all countries are struggling to cope. I think the government has really done a very good job fighting the pandemic here so far. What is important now is each and every citizen here in Ghana sticks to the precautions, wear your mask, keep your distance, wash your hands, work from home if it's possible. So these are the essential things to keep the COVID under control.
We started this year with the Continental Free Trade Agreement area. I mean, we're looking at $3.5 trillion in value annually, but we have always been telling the story of African, member states being part of this. We haven't necessarily told the story of, foreign, establishments like Germany. What remains your contribution to the single market?
Now, first of all, the single market, the African Free Trade Continental Area is, of course, a huge, big chance for Ghana and all the other African countries here. We have seen that in Europe when we created the single market in Europe and the European Union. It has been a big, big boost for our economic development in the whole of Europe. We see the same chances for the African continent. Of course, it's a long way to go. Now we are entering the phase of implementation of the AfCFTA agreement. There are some considerable technical challenges in this process. And we, from the German side, we are happy that we are already in a kind of support cooperation with AfCFTA in Addis Ababa via GIZ. And we are planning to do the same here in Ghana by offering our technical support to the AfCFTA secretariat here in Ghana.
All right, but when you say technical challenges, what exactly do you mean?
These are standards and measurements and export control, technical questions more or less. We are offering, as I said, support in Addis. We are offering already support here to the Ghanaian government, to the Ministry of Industry and Trade, and we are eager to work together with the secretariat here in Accra. A huge chance for Ghana, and I'm very optimistic about it.
But what do you stand to gain out of this cooperation?
I think it's in all our interest that the economy in Africa booms. Africa is our neighbor continent, the closest continent to Europe. And the economic and social development in Africa is, of course, one of our key priorities.
Ambassador, we have started this year once again. I want you to help us understand your key priorities for 2021.
First of all, priority number one is, as I said, support Ghana in the fight against COVID, overcoming the challenges, the medical challenges with COVID, with the delivery of vaccines here. We will support via our international Gavi and COVAX initiatives. And then it's of course important to support Ghana and Ghanaian businesses in overcoming the economic and social challenges.
And how do you do that?
We know the pandemic has been a challenge for many ordinary people in this country here. We do it, for instance, by agreeing credit lines, as we did with the Stanbic banks, that they can support small and medium-sized Ghanaian companies so they can keep their workers, and don't set them free. This is very important. And then, of course, we will continue our very substantial development cooperation here in the pillars renewable energy, This is a very important pillar. We might later come to the details of this. And then, of course, also with regard to sustainable economic development. And the third pillar of our economic and development cooperation is good governance. First of all, good financial governance. That means tax revenues and things like that.
So how do you box it all in when it comes to financial commitment?
It's a commitment of about, as I said, 130 million euros a year we are having here in Ghana for the moment.
We do know once again that COVID-19 has ravaged economies and various countries are taking aggressive steps to contain the virus. We're talking of temporary travel bans, of which Africa has been victim to. What's the case of Germany and Ghana? Has anything changed? Something new?
Yes, the situation is a moving target, so to say. Just a couple of days ago, we have stopped all travel from so-called high-risk countries around the world. High-risk countries, I think we have 7 right now. Among them are, for instance, South Africa because of the mutation, Brazil, but also countries like Portugal, Ireland, and the United Kingdom. Ghana is not among these countries so far. But having said that, I must add that normal tourist visa, Schengen visa for Europe, the European Union or Germany are not issued at the moment. So tourist travel and non-essential travel to Germany for the moment is not possible. The only circumstances when you can travel to Germany right now is when you have a medical emergency, when you're studying in Germany and the trip and your presence in Germany is indispensable, or if you have very close family links to Germany. Unfortunately, that's the situation right now, like in most other European countries too.
You cited South Africa, the new variants there. We have discovered similar thing here in Ghana. Could that change your directive moving forward?
It could change. I can't give you a prognosis on that, but we are following the numbers very closely and we update our capital on a weekly basis. So this might change, but I can't predict at the moment.
Now, let's talk about your outfit being heavy on renewable energy, because recently we do know that you committed about 10 million euros in terms of grants for the Reform and Investment Partnership. So first of all, walk us through the Reform and Investment Partnership, then we now delve deeper into the ambit of this agreement.
Yeah, the Reform and Investment Partnership is an agreement that was signed when our federal German president Frank-Walter Steinmeier was here on a state visit in December 2017. It's a very exciting project. We only have this Reform and Investment Partnership with 5 other African countries at the moment. So this shows you that Ghana is really a key partner for Germany on the African continent. And it's about supporting reform, economic reform in Ghana and bringing German and European investment to Ghana. Because we hold the opinion, looking at development cooperation, that development cooperation over the last decades has always been important and will remain important. But it has never been the game changer for countries like Ghana to really stand on economically sound own footing. So the magic formula for further development, for economic development in this country, like in many other African countries, for me is bring private investment, private capital here to Ghana, use this investment, this capital to create jobs and give a perspective for young people. I mean, Ghana is a potentially very rich country, I don't have to tell you, with all the raw materials, the natural resources, you have a lot of potential in agriculture. So this country, if it goes through the ambitious transformation and modernization agenda, will be successful. I have no doubt about it. And we would like to support Ghana on this way.
What reforms do you think must be applied, even as you go on this tangent, to ensure the success of what you're talking about?
I think it's exactly what the government is proposing and the agenda the government is following with, for instance, Ghana Beyond 8. What the economy in Ghana needs is a modernization and transformation. A transformation from being just an exporter of natural resources to a modern economy that is creating value here in Ghana and sharing this value with its people. This is the way forward, and I think we see good progress. Volkswagen starting car assembling is a very good example of how you bring global players here, you create jobs here, you do the value creating here in Ghana.
I'm very interested in the Volkswagen because we're also hearing news about vehicles going electric by 2035. We're talking of GW in that nature. Are we expecting the same from Volkswagen soon?
I can't tell you. This we would have to discuss with the Volkswagen CEO and his colleagues. But I think there's a lot of potential also in West Africa. And I mean, this is the exciting story about Ghana also with AFCTA. Ghana is ideally located to be a hub for not only German but international European companies coming to West Africa. I mean, you have better infrastructure than most countries here in West Africa. English language is for most Europeans, including Germans, easier than French language, you know. So we see these trends. I mentioned at the beginning that more and more German companies are opening their regional offices here in Ghana, and this is a huge, huge potential, and we should continue to work on that.
Let's now dwell on the 10 million euro grant. Yeah. What does it entail?
This is only one example. I think on renewable energy we spent more than 100 million euros here in loans and grants over the last 4 years here in Ghana. We do this because we see a lot of potential, of course, in renewable energy. Solar energy is obvious here in Ghana. Wind energy is the second, but also things like hydrogen. Hydrogen is considered in Germany and many other countries as the energy source of the 21st century. You can produce so-called green hydrogen from solar and wind, and then you transport it as a kind of LNG, liquefied natural gas, with ships to Europe. You know, there's a big potential in this cooperation, and Germany is one of the global leaders in this hydrogen cooperation, and we are exploring partnerships with African countries, and Ghana is certainly very well situated to be a potential partner in this cooperation.
But of course, with this cooperation, what has been the turnover in the span of the past 4 years?
To give you an example, very concrete, about 1 year ago, I went to the Upper West region, and I had the honor to be with President Akufo-Addo at the sod cutting of the biggest public solar power plant here in Ghana, close to Wa, the Lavra Kaleo solar plant, with a performance of more than 30 megawatts, financed from the German government via our development bank KfW with more than 25 million euros. So this is looking very good, and we will certainly very soon start a project, and this will bring electricity for more than 30,000 people in the Upper West region here. As I said, the biggest public solar power plant here in Ghana. And I think that's a very good example of what we can do here. Another initiative, we are supporting the Ghanaian government Go Solar, or Ghana Go Solar program here, and part of the 10 million grant you mentioned will go into this initiative.
Ambassador, we're grateful that you joined us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me.
And that's it for AM Business this week, which is proudly brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. Make a date next week for another package. Stay with us. When we come back, we're talking the election petition 2020. We've got an update right here on the show.